Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we figure out how to build products and recover from burnout. I'm Benedict.
And I'm Brian. Each week, we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we figure things out. Today is April 13th, and I am feeling rejuvenated.
This is episode number 86, and I'm feeling hopeful.
All right.
Oh, very positive vibes this week.
Positive vibes. Yeah. Are you feeling hopeful in the product realm or in the house search realm, or both?
A little bit of both, I guess. Yeah. To be honest, it's a mix of like being hopeful, excited, and a lot of anxiety.
Well, yeah.
So, not sure if it's entirely positive, but yeah. Overall, things are good. What about you?
Good deal. Well, I mean, I guess I have to say, in this exact moment, I don't feel particularly rejuvenated. In this hour, I got my second COVID vaccine shot yesterday, which is amazing. But I do not feel well. I do not feel very good.
You got the Pfizer one, right?
I did. Yeah, I got the Pfizer. So yeah, yesterday was my second shot. And for pretty much most of the day, I just like my arm felt maybe a little bit sore, but I didn't feel. At the very end of the day, I just started feeling like achy, kind of fatigued, and right now I just ache like all over. A little bit of a headache, but I mean, whatever. I'll take it, dude.
Yeah. Was just chatting with Jane earlier today. It's better than like having the real thing. Like you feel bad for a day with the vaccine. You probably feel bad for, if you're lucky, you feel bad for a week or even two.
Right.
So if you get the real thing, so it's fine. But it's funny, like my parents both got the Pfizer as well. And they also like didn't feel anything after the first one. And then after the second one, they basically weren't able to do anything for a day.
Yeah. That seems to be the pretty common pattern. My sister-in-law got the exact same one, got the same as me, and she didn't get knocked out on her second shot at all. So I'm hopeful that at some point this morning I'll just kind of zip on back up. But I mean, I basically blocked off the whole day, as off work. So it doesn't matter.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's got me feeling super, super relieved. Gosh. And my wife got her first shot last week. Colorado basically opened up. Was it last week? I believe it was. Anybody in the adult population that wants one can get one in Colorado. So she'll get her second shot in a couple of weeks, and we'll be in the in pretty good shape family wise.
That's nice. Yeah, cool.
Okay, I want to hear all about the product hunt, or the launch rather, not just product hunt, but
just product hunt. Went well overall. Like I think it was a good strategy to split it up into two launches. We got roughly the same amount of traffic on both days. A little bit more on the product hunt day.
Okay.
But like only slightly. I think totally we got like 1,000 sessions during those 2 days. So the first one was like 400, and the second one was like 500 or so.
Okay. Any difference in new signups?
Yeah, so as usual, almost no signups, almost no demos. But at this point we kind of expected that. Like,
I mean,
it's not a product you sign up immediately, so it's fine.
Right.
But we did get some new trials. I think 2 or 3 new trials of people that are looking like they will convert. Like when we launched the product in 1.5 years ago or so, we got like 20 trials through Product Hunt, but none of them converted. And this time we got like way less, but they all look like they
better fit.
they might be a fit, and if they don't convert, it's for reasons not related to the product. So that got me excited. We also got a couple of demos of like people interest in like, this sounds like a thing we need, like the new like this company feature sounds interesting. Let's talk about it. I had one call yesterday and they sounded excited, but once I told them that we're also doing the marketing thing, they were like, interesting. Yeah, that sounds like the thing we'd absolutely need as well. So they're on the short list of people to reach out to once we have the marketing features in there.
Cool.
But overall, yeah, my feedback has been pretty positive. Like I mean, honestly, those comments were from people from within the network or from within like people we know. But people said stuff like, this is a game changer, and you can corner the email marketing for SaaS market with this. No one else is doing this. They nailed this feature, stuff like that. So it was super encouraging to hear that, and I think some people took notice but haven't acted on it yet. But User is on the radar of more people now that are like, interesting. This is interesting what they are building there. Maybe there's something. Let's either keep this in mind or I don't know, wait, what else is coming down the road or whatever. So I'm fairly confident that the launch was a success in terms of making a splash and moving some heads and getting some eyes on it, and maybe being more interesting to people and maybe become a choice again.
Yeah.
So
Congrats. That's good. Positive trend there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Direction.
We didn't quite make it to like number one, not even close on Product Hunt. I think we ended up being number 12 or so for the day. But I think it's still good enough. I mean, it was a feature launch, it wasn't a product launch, so it's kind of unlikely to get to number one with this. Also, it's pretty. I think one of the hardest parts about this feature is still like how to explain it and how to like present it and market it and what the right words are. Which makes it, like I bet a couple people saw it and didn't get it. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's not a discouraging piece of data to say we ended up at number 12 because it
no,
doesn't
not
fit
at
the
all.
mold of a
Yeah,
top 5 product
yeah,
of the day. And so
yeah,
that's
for sure.
like number 12 is actually pretty amazing,
Yeah, yeah,
for what this particular launch was. So
yeah,
good
absolutely.
perspective to have there.
And compared to the other launches, like the 2 launches we did before that, we didn't even get on the front page, and we got on the front page basically within the first 30 minutes or so.
Nice.
So that was encouraging, and I mean, I don't have any proof, but I think the key was that we had like a friend post it, was it posting it ourselves.
Yeah.
And he's one of the like early users of Product Hunt and has like hunted
Right.
a couple of things. So
That
I
helps.
think the boost of like having a quote unquote celebrity posted is the deciding factor for those launches.
I mean, yeah. That's doesn't hurt, that's for sure.
Yeah. We also posted this on Hacker News as an experiment.
Brave.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure about that. And we first contemplated asking someone to post it there, but then decided to post it to Show Hacker News, like
Uh-huh. Yep.
their section there, because we noticed that at least on that day, things would stay on there for a couple days, versus like the new or even the top page where you basically get visibility for like an hour and then you're gone. And we didn't get a lot of traffic from it, but we got like, it was on the show page for I think a day or so, and we got like 40 visitors to the website.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I guess it was worth the experiment. Yeah, we didn't get any haters, so I count that as a success.
Man, I think the most visible project I've ever had on Hacker News, this was back in, 2012. I think I shared this story on, like, one of the earliest episodes of this show. It's when I was still living in Texas. I built hirebrianray.com, which was this like, you know, as a resume site, had all this parallax scrolling on it, like all sorts of, graphics and things. And Brad Feld, who's like, one of the godfathers of startups in Boulder and in the like US market, um, tweeted it and was like, someone in Boulder should seriously hire brianray.com. Dude is seriously creative. And that, went, it blew up, for a couple of weeks there. That was like the most visible thing that I'd ever done. And I'm getting all these emails from all over the place. Oh, dude, come join us. Like, like blah, 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 like all this amazing feedback, and we'll fly you out and da, 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 da. On Hacker News, somebody posted it, and comment after comment was just like, "This is the least usable website ever. This code is garbage. Doesn't work on, whatever." And it was just like worst, 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 worst,
Yeah.
worst. And then in, meantime, I'm getting, outright job offers in my
Yeah.
inbox.
Yeah.
So at first I was like, "Oh gosh, this is off." Wait, yeah, whatever. Screw you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That is my experience with the Hacker News community. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've never been suspect of like getting a lot of hate, but like for the most part, nothing I ever posted there worked. I think I once had one of my blog posts posted there weeks after I published it initially, and it got a decent bunch of upwards, like 150 or so, and was on the front
yeah,
page for a while.
yeah, that is
But
serious.
that's like that wasn't planned. That wasn't my doing. So
Yeah,
I basically gave up on Hacker News, but I decided for this one, let's at least give it a try. And we posted like a longish first comment about like, hey, we are just those small founders, like small company of two, and
yeah, right.
this is like we're taking on the big VC industry and whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Not really. I mean, it in a way it probably didn't work, but it also didn't backfire. So I
yeah.
guess it's fine.
Oh, man. Oh, the internet. What else is happening on your side?
Yeah. So we had a long call with Jane today about strategy for what to do next. And we're not surprised that we're going to double down on the marketing features.
Cool.
I think
Yep.
we'll be able to hammer out like some very, very basic functionality of like
Mhm,
double opt-in and forms over the next
mhm,
couple of weeks. I guess my internal goal is like have something ready in like 4 weeks or so,
mhm.
like super scrappy, and then see like if we can get people to use it. Um, just wanted to keep the momentum up with this. Like this launch like injected some energy into me, and I think in Jane as well, and
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully start the water a little bit. So we should try to capitalize on that and not like take another half a year for this to launch. Jane will be reworking the website a little bit and
Mhm,
already start promoting these features, like promoting those marketing campaign stuff features.
mhm.
Um, for one, inspired by what you said a couple of weeks ago or months ago at this point, of like basically starting the marketing efforts before you even have the feature ready. Because at least for me, it always feels like we spend a ton of time on development and building and stuff like that, and then basically exhausted, and then we have
Yeah,
to start
right.
thinking about marketing. Luckily, Jane doesn't feel that way.
Okay,
She said to me earlier today. So I guess we're still fine, but for me, it always felt like a slog in the end. And can we
Yeah.
just be done with it? And I don't want to do anything else anymore, and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
this time we'll flick around a little bit and basically start promoting the thing, even if it doesn't exist yet,
Right.
and put like coming soon or whatever below it. So that will
Mhm.
be interesting to see. And yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
basically
mean,
the plan.
especially if you can get people to say, "Hey, notify me when this is ready to launch in a couple of weeks," and
Yeah, yeah, that's actually a good idea. We should probably have like a sign up form for this.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I hope I don't forget to tell her this
Eh
after recording.
A little while back, Jane was doing those customer interviews. Was the marketing piece a part of those conversations, or was it not as like present on y'all's radar at the time?
I think it was a result like of those conversations, because a lot
Okay,
of
yes,
people in
so
those calls said like, I want to have like all my SaaS email, all my marketing stuff, my lifecycle messaging in one tool.
yeah. Okay, cool.
And that was kind of what inspired
Okay.
this
Yes.
shift in direction a
Gotcha.
little bit. And since then, like in conversations with potential leads or potential people who are would be a good fit, like a lot of them said like, yeah, like once you've got this, reach out to me, and this is a serious option for me to look at, and we might be open to switching. So we have got a lot of verbal commitments.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
let's hope they convert for real. But
Mhm.
it's like the signals are very positive, so it feels like
Totally.
the thing to do.
That's
um,
exciting.
we're also still thinking a little bit about like doing more integrations, but yeah, I don't know, like that probably takes longer and like more work to get the infrastructure ready there. um,
Mhm.
and I think like the marketing stuff, we can probably hack something together that kind of works, and then polish that based on the user feedback. um,
How what
yeah.
where are the areas of integrations that Segment doesn't cover? Or is it that you need some, like, first-class citizen integrations because some of your customers aren't using Segment? Is that the
Yeah, so the thing that we're looking at is basically stuff like hooking up Stripe to user list. And I think that's not even something that you can do via Segment. I think you can only
Yeah.
funnel Stripe data into your data warehouse, but
Mhm.
you can't forward like payment events and stuff like that into other tools.
Yeah.
So that's one of the contenders on the list. And then
Mhm.
just a plain out Zapier integration that allows people to, I think V1 is just like allowing people to send data into user list like they would via the API, but
Yeah.
without having to write any code.
Yep.
So it's not super smart and not even super powerful or anything like that, but it would be a good like
Convenient.
piece of glue code in a way to to hook other systems up to user list. Um, yeah. So those are like some of the integrations we're thinking about. There's also Keith of Segmetrics recently reached out and was interested in like syncing user list user data into Segmetrics to improve their reporting and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
we have a long list of potential ideas, um, but still like marketing stuff sounds like it's the better thing to focus on at this stage. Except maybe the Stripe, like there's still this one-click sign up and get your customer data from Stripe directly streamed into user list. That part is still kind of exciting if you think about it. But yeah, I mean, there's only so much time every week.
Only so much time in a day. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got a lot of I'm loving the momentum, and s seems like there's some, yeah, some good energy happening.
Yeah, like the spirit is definitely the spirits are lifted compared to
Mhm.
earlier this year. So yeah, it's good.
Great. Uh, what about the house stuff before we
Oh
move
yeah,
on to anything else
I almost
else?
forgot about that for a moment.
Sorry. Should I not have brought it up?
No,
I just
it's fine. Like
Okay.
we had 4 more viewings, no, even 5 this weekend.
Mhm.
um we applied for one more of those. Like we already had like, suggested that we're interested in one house last week, and then we have another one today, and it sounds like we're both still in the race for both of them.
Okay.
um
Okay.
and we have a call with one of them later today, but it's not our favorite one. And the one we'd really like to get, they said they will get back to us either tomorrow or on Thursday.
Okay.
So fingers crossed. Like I'm.
Is your preferred one the one you mentioned last week that
Yeah,
you
it's
okay, alright, cool.
it's
And
still it's still by far the best.
okay, alright.
So uh,
Okay,
we're
well,
still
fingers crossed, I mean,
fingers crossed and hoping that we'll get this one because that would be awesome.
yeah, still in the running, that's
Yeah,
good for now, I guess. Yeah, yeah,
but
good luck.
man, like this stuff is kind of draining. Like I could use a weekend. Like after this weekend of like just like we had like 3 appointments right after each other on Saturday, and we were basically wasted after that. We just got home and laid down on the couch and slept for an
Yeah,
hour because like walking through the places and like starting to, I don't know, it's trying to imagine, is this a good fit? Like how would
yeah,
we like, where does the couch go? Where does the bed go? Like, can we fit everything in here? Is it noisy? Is it not noisy? Like, how's the neighborhood? It's just so many things to process it in a very short amount of time, and then you have to,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
decide on
just a
if
big
this is a good fit and stuff like that. So
totally.
it was kind of exhausting, but
Yeah, big mental and emotional drain. Yeah,
yeah,
so yeah.
we still have stuff lined up for next week, like more viewings. But I really, really, really hope that we just get a
Yeah, yeah.
confirmation by
Hope
that.
we get some good news. Yep.
Yeah, one of those tools would be good. Like if it's the one from last week, then that would be amazing. But yeah, hopefully we can wrap the search up this week and then focus on like how do we move during COVID where no one is allowed to come over to help.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's
one step after another.
mhm. Yep. Put in front of the other.
Anyways, you posted some exciting stuff on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, I did. So the physical, a physical prototype of the game came in over the weekend, and we got to sit down at a table and play it in real life and hold it, in my hands. It was such a fulfilling experience. I had kinda set my expectations rather low on the quality of the pieces, you know? This this service that we use is called thegamecrafter.com, and they do this, like, super short run prints of, uh yeah, of games that use typical components, you know, cardboard hex tiles, playing cards, etcetera, etcetera. And so I was expecting the quality to be a little bit off, you know, bad, you know, registration on the print, et cetera, and dumped it out of the box, and like my jaw just dropped because it looked so, so good. Um, it was amazing, dude. It was so great.
Yeah, you
It,
posted a picture on Twitter. It looks like you bought it in a store and started playing
yeah,
it. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it feels and looks like a real game. Um, and so we sat down and played it. We had so my uh, friend, co-designer on this game, Graham. We've been, you know, kind of potting together with this family over the last couple of months. As one of the very few people that will, you know, hang out with indoors. And so, yeah, so they came over, and the four of us, Graham and his wife, and myself and my wife Laura, we sat down and played through it, and it was cool. It was, I mean, it was awesome. Like there are definitely some, you know, some rough edges, and yeah, some areas that still need some work, but it didn't feel like you know, a complete and total disaster by any stretch of the imagination. Like it was so much fun. It was wild, dude.
that's awesome.
And just some really nice and you know, kind comments on that on that tweet, and some likes from some people that I greatly admire. So that was nice. So the question now really becomes, you know, what next? Um, and so we we got to figure out what's the best way for us to get, a handful of these, um, physical versions of the game kind of, moving from house to house out there to get some physical, some blind play tests, in person, um, done. So, that just gets complicated in terms of, okay, look, we can ship you one when you're done playing it, put it in this box and then send it to this address. You know what I mean? Like just managing that whole process. I just I don't know how exactly we want to go about handling that. That just feels like
Hmm.
a potential whole thing. Um,
Can you
because
just
they're
like print like create a box, put a game in there, and then print a stack of like shipping labels with addresses pre-filled, and then
yeah, yeah.
send it out, and then tell people when you're done playing, pick one of
Y
those labels, put
yeah,
it on there, and
yeah.
ship
Yep.
it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's for sure one option. I think that where it will get virtually impossible to map it out, from day 1
Mhm.
through day 45 is, "Oh, hey,
Yeah.
we planned on playing it last night, we
Yeah.
didn't. Oh, yeah, I'll totally put this in the mail tomorrow." 4 days
Mhm.
later, cricket.
Yeah.
So, and we don't wanna print out too many of them, like, because the game crafter specializes in very short runs,
Mhm.
the price is really high. Like,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
components, the game that we've got is probably like $34 to $39 US retail, but it costs us $65 for one of
Mhm.
them,
Yeah.
through this. So, anyway, that's part of what's next. I wanna get some, uh, you know, run down really getting some art, done, some promotional art done so that we can put up a landing page and start, collecting some, interested folks so that in the likely event that we kickstart it, we'll have a bit of a boost, hopefully, like just something to get us off the ground. Um, yeah, but it's exciting. I truly the thing that I probably need to focus on first is the rule book documentation, getting that in a better place, and just like the UI and UX of the game. Like the cards,
Mhm.
the cards have a bunch of text on them because we haven't done much iconography, you know. And so this particular card, it will give you an additional action this round, and you can, forage without needing to having to do a particular thing in the game. And it writes it all out. Well, with a couple of icons, it's much easier to just skim the card. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So just design wise, it's probably in a place where I can start to put some energy into that.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah, really,
Any
really
other
fun.
learnings from having the physical prototype in your
Y-
hands and playing it in?
Yes. Yeah, we definitely need to have some sort of organizing, board. Um, we're not going to. So if you see the picture, um, on Twitter, we have a handful of different decks that interact with each other and interact with the player through any given round. So there's like a crafting deck where you could, use some materials in your hand to create a better item so that you're more prepared, to move or defend against weather. Then there's this other deck where at the end of, in the middle of the night, you have to draw it and something bad is going to happen that you have to defend against. And then there's a weather deck that tells you what sort of weather to look out for. So, and then there's an equipment deck for the search and rescue, the ranger team. So there's multiple decks in the game that interact with the players and interact with one another. And so we need some sort of board that organizes those, manages where to discard, where to draw from, because we don't need like a traditional board for the board game where like it builds out the map on it. The hex tiles, the hex maps, like build out the map themselves and can be free form. And because every single game, the map will be different. But some sort of way of managing all of that for the for the players is critical. Like that became very obvious, very, very quickly. So there are a couple of that's one component that for sure we need to think through. I think the other piece of it is having a very simple reference card for the players to progress through the phases, through the stages of a given turn. And there are some really great games that do this really well that we'll need to just pull some more inspiration from. But it even for me, there were a few points where it's like, wait, did we do that? Did we not do that? So just smoothing out those edges just to make the experience, even better.
Yeah,
So
nice. It's good that you got some value out of this. Like, for one, like seeing the thing in real life and like being able to touch this, but it sounds like you have like some pretty substantial improvements just from like playing it 1 or 2 times.
yeah,
So that's great.
definitely. So, what else? Yeah, I mean, I nothing else on that. Nothing else on that end. We're we are gonna play through it just ourselves, a number of more times before we spend any money on getting some additional ones printed up. But then I would love to find a way to start shipping some around and getting it on some other people's tables to see what they think. Yeah, it's really exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was super
The
impressed by this. So I'm still rooting for this.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I feel like I need to uh just appreciate a little bit more that the stage that it's at right now is a full-on accomplishment of a goal, which is just to have something, that my friends and I can sit down and play at a table that I designed and helped design. Because that was like the original goal. Um, and now, now that it's like, oh wow, this is legit. People like to play this. We should totally try to get it produced. That has like been introduced. And Laura the other day was like, hey, when did the goal switch from just having something that you could have on your shelf to wanting to do Kickstarter or start pitching it to publishers? When did that change? I was like, I really don't. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. And so, yeah, so I kind of just want to feel like just pausing for a good little while here and just celebrating, the stage that it's at, because it's a huge. I should,
Yeah.
appreciate that it's an accomplishment of a goal that I'd set. So pretty great, pretty
Yeah.
great.
Good reminder to celebrate successes along the way. I think now that you say it, we totally forgot to celebrate the launch of the company's
Yeah,
feature.
yeah, exactly. There's always something else that comes after it, or you forget along the way that like that a new goal gets attached to it because it's going well or whatever. Um, yeah, okay. So final thing on my end is that Lego project went awesome. Other, that other jobs to be done project is going really, really great. And Lego, we've got a new agreement, basically to do the process again 3 more times. Um, and so there's like still this part of me that is thinking, is this the thing, or is this a thing? Have I stumbled upon this is a very easy to a process to describe, execute, and deliver an end product as a result of this service that I can spend a couple weeks helping you out with interviews. Then we put all this data into this application, run some code, through R to segment your audience, spits out this really fancy, or really useful rather, chart that can guide your product decisions for the next year. Boom. Well, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it's just been such a breath of fresh air, that project, after, just grinding it out through consulting for a good stretch here. Yeah, it's been awesome. They're just the coolest. They're really great. They're great people to work with, and the project that we're working on is fulfilling, like, on every level. So yeah, good stuff there.
Nice.
Okay, that's all I've got. Anything else for you over there?
No, that's it for this week, I guess. Hopefully I have some good news to share next week.
Yes.
We see.
Fingers crossed.
Thanks.
Later.
Yep. Bye.